Hey everybody, in this video we're going to go over a full dropshipping strategy that is unique, targeted, and to the point. Everything I teach in this video is following a unique strategy, and it only works when all components are put together. The analogy I like to use when it comes to dropshipping is kind of like cooking. You're not going to make a great meal unless you're following a recipe. If you just try to wing it, you might end up with something very good, but outside of that, 90% of the time, it's going to taste bad unless you use all the right ingredients. Same thing applies with dropshipping. If you're watching 20, 30, 40 different dropshipping videos, all teaching different subjective strategies, your brain is going to be really confused. You can't start a business like that. So in this video, I'm going to basically check off all the most important key elements of my entire dropshipping strategy in one video. We're going to focus on the science behind the entire process, start to finish, and also take note that this isn't going to be like a typical dropshipping video. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to go over the hard truths and the reality of how you can actually become successful in this. I'll separate this into 5 pillars: the pre-market pillar, the product pillar, website pillar, free advertising pillar, and lastly, the paid advertising pillar. But to simply summarize, this entire strategy is predicated around using a one-product store to sell fun products to a younger audience through a free TikTok advertising method, followed by a paid TikTok advertising method. The whole goal here is to capture impulsive purchases by selling fun, joyful products to people while also making your dropshipping brand extremely unique so that people can't go find your product anywhere else. Really quickly though, my name's Collins Ecom. I've been dropshipping for about 4 years now using this strategy and have generated over 11 million in sales since then. I also own a dropshipping consulting agency, and we've generated over 1,300 successful students along with 14 7-figure students to date. And we all follow this exact strategy I'm about to teach in this video because it gives us the highest probability of success. It's going to allow you to start making fast money, but also be able to transition into a long-term plan for building a big brand that'll last you years to come. On top of all this, I've engineered this strategy for people with a low budget because I understand that not everybody has lots of startup capital, but there's still going to be costs associated with starting any business. So I'd have at least $500 to $1,000 saved up at minimum, because I'm not going to lie to you, you need some funds or else you're going to be sacrificing too much time that doesn't need to be sacrificed. Time always overvalues money. So save up your money and let's start learning. Before you do though, note that I have a 20-hour course following this entire strategy for only $10 in the description. You're going to get a more in-depth, advanced video guide on this subject if you do decide you want to go down this route. No other hidden fees, but outside of that, let's jump right into the strategy. Now, first things first, pillar number 1, pre-market research. The first thing we're going to go over is impulse buying psychology. Why do people buy from dropshipping stores and how does it happen? Because before we sell something to someone, we need to understand the principle to why they're even buying from us or want to buy from us to begin with. So a great way of understanding this is by taking a look at this thing called the fog behavior model. On this, we can see that there's 3 main components that get someone to take action. In our case, impulsively purchase our dropshipping product: motivation, ability, and trigger. If there's high enough motivation to want the product and they have the ability to do so at a fair price point, they then need a trigger to push them over the edge of purchasing. Otherwise, there's no incentive to buy it impulsively. And this curved line in the middle represents the barrier to where this is possible. Now, this model directly correlates with what happens in the brain when someone impulsively purchases. After doing a brain scan, they saw that these 3 brain areas lit up when someone took action to impulsively purchase something. The nucleus accumbens activates in proportion to how excited you'll be to have that new thing you want to buy. The insula is then going to light up when you see the painful price tag. So the higher the price, the more it activates. And then lastly, the mesial prefrontal cortex is going to activate when you believe you've gotten a good deal. Now, when we compare this to the fog behavior model, it's a direct correlation to the motivation, ability, and trigger. We need to give them tons of motivation, activate their dopamine by having them wish they had the product, and then lowering the ability by lowering down that price point to something that they could afford. And then lastly, using a marketing tactic like an urgency sale, scarcity stock countdown, etc. to push them into buying right away. Now that we know how impulse buying works, we need to find the type of person who is most likely to impulsively purchase one of our dropshipping products. And I'm going to skip out all the statistics and probability, blah, 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 and get straight to the point for this one. Our target age is 18 to 24. Our target gender is female unless you're selling a higher priced item. Men typically impulsively purchase higher priced products in a lower quantity, whereas women typically impulsively purchase lower priced items at higher quantity. Then after this, Their motivation is hedonistic pursuit, so people who typically purchase things that make them feel happy. And their traits are either more impulsive or more compulsive with their shopping patterns. This is going to cover our pre-market research summary. So in simple terms, sell impulsive shit to impulsive people and make a lot of money. Also note that I'm teaching you what works for our specific targeted strategy. You can still sell dropshipping products to virtually anyone, but this strategy is going to get you the fastest results. Really quickly though, shoot this video a comment, like, and subscribe if you're finding this helpful so far. Now, the next pillar is called the product pillar. This is where we find that perfect winning product that correlates with our target audience. Something that fits a certain criteria that'll be our best bet for capturing an impulsive sale. And there's 6 variables we'll want to keep an eye out for before doing our product research, starting with variable number 1, want versus need. Make sure you're selling something that people want that has no real logical purpose to someone's life. Example, a fidget spinner over a garden. Number 2, joy/excitement. Extremely similar to number 1, but we just want to make sure it entices some sort of exciting thoughts about what it would be like to use the product. If it doesn't have them imagining some sort of joyful thought, something that releases dopamine, don't sell it. Number 3, unsaturated. Your product needs to be a very unique product, something they can't go easily buy somewhere else, otherwise they'll jump over to Amazon and buy it from somewhere they're familiar with. Make sure your brand name is unique, appear as the inventor of the product, and give them so much info on your site that they don't need to go anywhere else for research. Number 4, price range. Price range needs to be within preferably $15 to $65. This gives consumers the ability, as we've discussed, to purchase it comfortably without having to drop too much money in a one-time visit to your store. You can go over this and sell a high-ticket product if you want to, but it makes it a bit more difficult, and the whole impulsive buying process gets harder, requiring you to do more marketing work, and it's just a bigger pain in the butt. But it makes it a bit more difficult, and the whole impulse buying process gets harder, requiring you to do more marketing work. Number 5, wide/targeted. What I mean by this is that you need to sell something that is in between a massive audience and a very niche down audience. Don't sell something literally everyone and their grandma would buy, but also don't sell something that's way too unique that only a small crowd of people would buy. We need a good audience size of around 50 million people, ideally, and that covers that. And lastly, number 6, 3 to 5x markup. Make sure you can sell the product for 3 to 5 times more than whatever you're getting it from your suppliers. Otherwise, you're going to have tons of issues with your profitability margins, and it's just not worth the headache. Now, for this next section, I'm going to teach you where to look for winning products. And honestly, you're going to want to use every avenue at your disposal, but the number one way I like to find winning products isn't anything special. It's the most well-known standard approach to product research, but it's also one of the most effective ways, and that's just by going on the AliExpress.com and scrolling through tons of products. You're going to use this worksheet I provide in the description called the Product Research Worksheet. This is a product research checklist and worksheet you can use to write down all the products that grab your attention. You're going to list them all down on here and then filter through them by counting up how many variables each checks off: excitement, unsaturated, etc. and rank them each on this list. By the time you're done ranking, you should have a top 5 list that you would then go and intuitively choose which product you want to sell. Once that's finished, fill out the other worksheet called the Customer Avatar Worksheet and write a couple paragraphs about what your target audience looks like and really think in depth to what your product is, who it would attract, and then basically start thinking like the person who would buy your product and write out what their life looks like. What types of products they typically purchase from, what types of online content they typically consume, etc., etc. This is going to give us a good foundational understanding of how we're going to design our website and how we're going to market this product. Next, for section 3, the last section of the product pillar, we're going to quickly go over product fulfillment. Once we find our winning product, we need to get it for the absolute cheapest price possible. Okay, don't focus on shipping times or product quality. The only thing you need to focus on when it comes to fulfillment is the price. Which supplier is going to give you the best rates? And the reason I say this is because in the very beginning, the only thing you should care about is profit, not customer satisfaction. You can't satisfy customers when you don't even have a business that's making money. Prioritize cheap rates, and then over time, transition the profit you make into better quality products and faster shipping times for long-term sustainability. One of my favorite fulfillment services is Zendrop personally. They tend to give you solid rates on products and likewise actually get products to customers within 10 days, which is crazy. But if you find a cheaper rate through an AliExpress supplier or wherever else, then go with that or submit a request to price match that on Zendrop. Their application is going to automatically fulfill every single order, so you don't have to do any fulfillment work yourself. It's all automated, meaning it'll charge your card every time you get an order. They'll ship the product to your customer, and then you won't have to worry about any of that. But moving on, now we landed on the website pillar. So basically everything to do with web design, plugins, creating your funnel, etc. And there's some key points I want to make before we get into all of this. And the biggest point I want to make is that you need to make your website look like a big brand. Do not make it look like a dropshipping store. It needs to be a very professional looking website, or else people won't trust it enough to purchase from it. Simple. So let's take a look at some really good dropshipping website designs that we can study and copy from. And the store we made for the client is this long cat pillow store. So as I'm scrolling through here, you can see that first and foremost, I use lots of colors and icons. I go over how the product could benefit the customer's life rather than listing our product facts or features and writing in terms of our brand. We always want to use copywriting that goes over the benefits to how the product will impact their lives rather than talking about product features. As we scroll down, we can see that the product is trusted by over 4,400 customers. Social proof is essential on the homepage. We want to come off as the founders of the product. Also show fast shipping and money back guarantees. And then we can scroll down to the next very important section, which is showing a picture of a warehouse and coming off as the founders of that product by saying something like started in Los Angeles, California. From there, we got testimonials, and lastly, an urgency trigger, 40% off sale ending tomorrow. If we click get now, we will land on the product page, and right above the add to cart button, we have a stock quantity countdown. Underneath the buttons, we have a trusted checkout badge. And then now scrolling down, we're going to have more benefits of the product and how it'll help the customer's lives. We're aiming for a younger female audience, so we use lots of keywords that would attract that target audience. We have some more product pictures, another trust building section saying how, you're a small business in Los Angeles, California. Then we have some Q&A questions to answer any drawbacks that would prevent them from purchasing. But then we have another trust section, and then lastly, the product reviews at the bottom. By the time a customer scrolls through to the end of this site, they've built lots of trust with our brand, and they've established that we are unique and that we are the people who essentially invented the product. We've gotten rid of all possible objections. We gave them a good $30 price point, and we also added in some urgency to get them to purchase the 40% off sale before it ends the very next day. This is how you make your dropshipping website. We make all of our websites through Pagefly plugin and also using the Judge.me reviews app. If you don't want to forget everything I went over, you can check out the link in the description for a web design PDF that will help you create each section of your website if you're making them from scratch. So when it comes to using plugins for your site, I have a good list of some very cool plugins that we use on our own stores if you want to join the Collins Econ program. Link is in the description for the 20-hour course, all the resources, assets, tools, and the community that we all work together in. I'll be able to respond to you guys directly in the community if you have any advanced questions, only $10. The final section I want to go over in the website pillar is payment processing. And there's two ways to go about this. There's payment processing for beginners, and there's payment processing for when you reach scale. If you're a beginner, I just suggest using something simple like Stripe. They're going to be the easiest and best solution for a low quantity of orders. But once you start reaching 10, 20, 100K in revenue moving forward, you'll want to switch over to a more professional payment processor. So here's a quick view of how I process payments at a high scale. I'll use Payment Cloud as my processing agents. I'll run it through Authorize.net as the gateway, and then I'll mitigate risk alongside 3 corporate processors like Nuvei, TSYS, and EMS. This way I'm able to handle upwards to $1 million in revenue in 1 month without getting screwed over by any processor. But moving on to pillar number 4, we have the TikTok organic strategy. This is going to compose of posting tons of TikTok content every single day and building a foundation base for your brand. You can't jump right into paid ads until you really take your time to create high quality content on TikTok organic and start getting some free sales and establish that proof of concept. Here's a quick overview of the marketing steps you should follow. Start with TikTok, transition into paid TikTok ads, and then from there, expand out onto other paid advertising platforms. But let's first go over how the TikTok algorithm works, and I'm going to just quickly describe this because the video inside the course is pretty lengthy, but we'll go over the most important factor, and that's what TikTok looks for when deciding whether to make a video go viral. On the left-hand side here in red, TikTok collects content data, user data, and scenario data from every video you post, which then gets attributed to the data the algorithm already has, which is correlation features, user scenario features, trend features, and collaboration features. So for example, for correlation features, if your video contains content that relates with a massive amount of people, like keywords, content styles, sounds, hashtags, etc., it'll pair with a large amount of people. This is why your content and product needs to be broadly targeted. And then for the user scenario features, it'll look at where you're currently at on the map, time of day, etc. And it's going to show it to you at peak times. And then it'll look at the current trends happening on the platform. So if you make content that follows something that's trending, like trending memes, sounds, etc., it'll get you more views. Then lastly, collaboration features. So in layman terms, this just means niche of content. If your content is in a particular niche, it'll take this into account on a more broad level. Now, next, I want to go over some key notes for success on TikTok and things you should do in order to ensure success. The first being copy what works. If you see a video on TikTok that racked up millions of views, copy the format of that video and remake it yourself. If you see that one video worked on your account in the past, just keep remaking the same video over and over and over again. TikTok is a platform that reaches new people every single time you post, so every video you ever make will be judged independently. Keep that in mind. Next point I want to make is that you need to be consistently posting every day if you want to go anywhere. Aim to post 1 to 2 videos daily at minimum in order to start building traction. Next is keeping up with trends as they appear. So constantly being on the lookout for whatever's trending on TikTok and make similar style content for your brand, because this is the easiest way to hit the FYP page if you're a nobody on TikTok. And then lastly, be open to criticism. If you make a video that sucks, don't blame anyone else but yourself. Learn from it and make a better video next time. Now for the content section of this pillar, I want to go over content creation. How do we actually make high-end videos that are going to get you views and sales? I've had tons of organic videos that get millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes, and I'm going to just show you other popular videos that are perfect examples of what we're looking for instead of fully breaking it down like I do on my $10 course. Here's 4 quick TikToks you can spark ideas from.
Nope. Always coming out strong. Coming out hot.
You're happy, but don't be happier. Give me reasons we should be complete.
Black Friday sale ends soon.
So, it's like drugs?
It's better than drugs, Jeremy.
I know what you chasing, you can only get this feeling from a dog. You can only get this feeling from a dog. Tears falling and it's licking you.
Bro, I don't want to be it. Alright, fine, I'll be it, but this is the last time. Alright, bet, turn off the lights. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ready now.
Wait,
Here
I'm
I
not
come.
ready.
I don't care. Found you. Why'd you turn on the... Whose lights are these? They're mine, do you like them? Where'd you get them at?
I got them on LEDstriporiginal.com.
What the, really? Damn, they're kinda nice. Yeah, and you could change the colors, look. Damn, bro, that's actually sick. I know, bro. You still cheated, though. Go count again. Okay, fine.
So yeah, hopefully you got some ideas from those videos. Each video blew up and had millions of views, and they're all in the format called UGC. UGC means user-generated content. So every video you film should appear as if it's coming from a user rather than a brand. This is the absolute best way to advertise on TikTok, because TikTok is a fast swiping platform. If you feed it videos that look like ads, people are just going to skip past it in the first 3 seconds. If you were doing YouTube ads, it would be a different story, because people on YouTube are forced to watch advertisements. But on TikTok, if you can create a funny and engaging video that drags along someone's attention span and then slowly transition it into a CTA, call to action to check out your website, then you'll be able to really rack up both views and sales. Also, I have a more in-depth video regarding TikTok organic advertising on my channel if you want to check that out for free as well. Now, lastly, I want to go over the TikTok Creator Marketplace. Essentially, this is just the place you can go to pay TikTok creators around 50 to 100 bucks per video to create content for your brand if you don't want to make it yourself. It's obviously not free advertising because you'll need to ship the product and pay them, but it's a very good option for creating high quality content with people who do this for a living. And if you're on a low budget, you can approach hundreds of small-time creators with affiliate deals and basically start giving them percentages of revenue for each sale that they generate with their link. Or another option is, if you're on a budget and you don't want to make TikToks yourself, you can go to a creator on the marketplace. You can pay him for one video, but then ask him to make multiple variations of the video. So tell him to film 5 hooks, 5 different bodies, and 5 CTA outros so that you can mix and match content and edit like 10 different videos from just that. So just keep that in mind. Now for the last and final pillar, we have TikTok paid advertising. In this, we'll go over how we can transition from organic to paid, how to scale the ads, how to test, etc. But again, keep in mind your profitability increases massively if you have an established brand on TikTok already. If you're running ads and the viewers can click into your TikTok profile and watch more videos and see that you have followers and all that stuff, then you're going to build trust with them and also be able to nurture all the leads for free just by posting normal TikTok videos. But let's jump right into how the bidding algorithm works. And the easiest way to put it is like this. TikTok ads is taking millions of variables into account every time you run a new ad. It's looking for the video quality or the resolution. It's looking to see how much you're bidding, what your click-through rate is, how long people view the ad for, etc., etc. So the absolute best way to film and run ads is by following the same exact TikTok UGC strategy for content. This is how you're going to win over the TikTok bidding algorithm, get the lowest CPMs possible on TikTok. Take the top 5 TikToks you made from organic and run them as ads on TikTok paid. You also want to run them as in a setting called Spark Ads. And what this means is that it'll run your original TikTok post that you posted as an ad rather than making a new video. This way you get tons of views off of your ads and build even more trust. Now, the next topic to discuss is the testing phase. When you first start an advertising platform on TikTok ads, you need to be aware that it's probably going to be unprofitable in the very beginning. If it breaks even, that's awesome. And if it's profiting right from the jump, which is a small majority of the time, that's absolutely amazing. So you need to be aware that you'll probably lose money during testing phase. This is where a big majority of that original $1,000 budget I mentioned is going to come in handy. You need to treat paid advertising like investing. Okay, you should never spend what you can't afford. There's going to be risk involved with this, and you need to be fully aware of the data that comes in so that you can make accurate and informed decisions on what to do. And the easiest way to start profiting right from the jump on paid ads is going to be by advertising to people who already engaged with your brand. So that means advertising to TikTok users who either watched 80% of your videos, liked, commented, clicked on the website, things of that nature. We call those warm leads because they've shown some sort of interest, and you'll be able to run a budget of like $20 to $40 a day to start out with this. And with this budget, you should start getting conversions right away. If you're not, go back to the drawing board and analyze either your ads, your product, your website, or your pricing to see what the issue may be. But let's go over the testing format and also the scaling format that we should follow. For this, we have a PDF you can download for free by checking out the link in the description. But this is how we should format our ads. This is a giant overview of the entire advertising testing process you should follow when first starting out. You're going to want to test tons of different audiences and ads. So in this PDF, we're using 6 different ads to test out, each one having 2 different ad descriptions, along with 20 different audiences on TikTok. This will all be under one normal campaign. And each ad set will represent one different audience with all 6 ads and descriptions placed inside the ad set level. Each ad set should have a daily budget minimum of $20 per day spent. So if you calculate that, the total ad budget will be around $400 a day. And if you don't have that budget, you can lower that amount down and you can remove some audiences so you're testing at half. That would be bare minimum, I would suggest. Then you're going to let this run for a few days, make sure your pixel's installed correctly and you're tracking data correctly. And then you're going to go in and analyze all the data that comes back. And essentially, after each ad set spends around $50 to $100, we're going to be able to determine whether this ad set is a winning ad set or a losing ad set. And the best way to determine this is by seeing how many purchases the ad set got. If it got a few purchases, that's perfect, keep it running. Now, if the ad set got 0 purchases, but it had a high click-through rate or a high view rate, you'll want to keep that ad set on to see if it starts making any sales very soon. If it continues to not make sales, then you can turn it off. Once that's all done, we're going to test manual bidding strategies like lowest cost and cost cap, and then test out a CBO campaign with your winning ad sets. You also want to keep a retargeting campaign running on the side. This is all in all a very simplified version of TikTok paid ads, but it's the foundational structure you'll want to follow. It gets very in-depth, but I do have a more entailed video on this if you check out my channel. No point in repeating literally everything I said in the other video. But yeah, that's going to cover this entire mini course for you guys. Hopefully you learned a lot from this. It may seem overwhelming in the beginning, but I strive to teach real knowledge and not create clickbait BS videos like 90% of what you see on YouTube. Okay, dropshipping is a business. It's not a fast, easy glitch to make money. There's a lot that goes into this if you actually want to beat out 95% of the competition. But luckily for you, unlike many other people, you have access to real advanced knowledge both inside this video and inside my $10 course. So you're not going to end up going down the completely wrong path and potentially waste months out of your life following fake advice from fake gurus. If you actually implement most of the things I teach you, you'll be surprised how fast you'll end up making money, okay? We've had clients start generating a few $100s a day in profit within literally the first 2 weeks. And we've also had clients start generating upwards to 6 figures a month in profit. So it truly depends on the client and how much effort they put into this. But as long as you take this advice seriously, you'll be going down the best possible dropshipping route. All right. So yeah, if you enjoyed that video, shoot me a comment, like, and subscribe so that I can get you guys more valuable content like this. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.